Yo, what's happening? I'll tell you what's happening to me. The bugs are just getting all up in my face. We're still in New York. New York's been amazing. And it's day 96. Day 96. It's Monday. I believe the date is June 24th. Monday, June 24th, 2019. And if you're new to this show, what it is my wife and I'm Radar, and her name is Nibbles. Those are our trail names. We are hiking the Appalachian Trail, and we're up in New York. So these are the Appalachian Mountains. Down in the south, they're the Appalachian Mountains, even though they're kind of the same mountain range. So I want to talk about New York. I think New York is fantastic. I know yesterday I said, when I was walking over the Hudson River, if you watch yesterday's video, I said, somebody get me a shirt that says I heart NY. I think that would be a great shirt. And I wear a size small. I love cotton. Anyway, I'm loving the state. We did all state park hiking yesterday. I believe we're in state parks today. Lots of good people using the trails. You go through real parks where there's a lot of people. I mean, I just kind of came to realize that the AT is more of like it's like a more of a historic trail in the United States. It's not so much like your great wilderness trails of the West, where you are completely ensconced in big views and deep, I don't know, geological formations that no one can get to unless you're, on foot. So, yeah, you're going to be around people. Like yesterday we shot a scene of the Manhattan skyline. I don't know if you can see that either. That was on yesterday's film. But something has happened to me. So back in the 700s, there was some great videos. That was like day 44, 45, 46 is when we got into around mile 700. I believe it was the day we went to the Audie Murphy shelter, or not the Audie Murphy shelter, the Audie Murphy Memorial. But something happened in 700, and there are a lot of things. It could have been the fact that it's a third of the trail, so you get there and you're like, oh man, I got 2/3 of this trail left. And another thing, trail just wasn't getting new trail. That's another one of these glossary terms. You'll hear hikers say that a lot. Oh, it was new trail all day. That means that it's trail that we haven't seen before. Like sometimes you'll hit trail in somewhere where you're hiking at home. It reminds you of trail that you're hiking, in Colorado or, somewhere in New Jersey, right? Like that's not new trail to you. New trail to you is when it's trail that's new to you. And in Virginia, the trail starts becoming repetitive to some degree. And you set mile 700 is when it kind of starts to catch up with you, and you realize that you're married to this thing for, another two-thirds, right? 2/3 of time. So for us, that was like day 45. So we're looking at another 90 days. Anyway, New York has rekindled my love for hiking and my love of the trail itself. And letting the trail tell its own story has been awesome, which I hope some of these videos have been doing for you. But yeah, Pennsylvania. And I hate talking about it, but Pennsylvania really sucks the life out of people. And New Jersey and New York give it right back to you. So just something to keep in mind when you're on the trail and you're hiking it and you're saying to yourself, you're heading northbound, and you're saying to yourself, man, this trail is just crappy. Is it gonna change or get better? I came out here to hike, not to eat, hot dogs and Duncannon. So, things to think about. Check this out. Got a big view coming. And the views are back too. All right, and the last thing that I love about New York are the climbs. We're back in, these are small mountains, but we're back in the mountains. It's not just so when you get into, I think after you get to, when you get into Virginia, I want to say it's around 3 ridges, so you start getting into what are called the Ridge Mountains of the Appalachians. And what they are, they're really long ridges, and then at either end of the ridge is where an interstate or some kind of highway crosses through, or there's a town, and you descend off the ridge, you go into town, and then you go back up on the ridge, and you just kind of cruise the ridge. And the ridges have a little bit of elevation gain and loss to them, but you're not really experiencing, your legs are just kind of doing that, and every time you climb, like in PA, you might climb 2 times a day, 600 feet. It's just really annoying. Or it's a 600-foot climb, and it's that's nothing. Especially for how the trail started in Georgia, and then especially North Carolina, and Southern Virginia. I mean, it was just 100%. Every time you hit the bottom, you were going up. So, New York, you're going up and you're going down, and it's getting your legs back in shape, and it feels good because it's like waking my legs back up again. And I actually forgot that I like that diversity in terrain. And here we're doing a little bit of climbing, and it's, at the first part of the state, when you first enter out of New Jersey, if you enter on a rainy or wet day like we did, and that's why I didn't really film any of it, the boulders, and as you can see, we're coming into this bouldery section here. The boulders really are scary when they're wet. Even if they look just a little bit less than flat, if they have a little bit of incline or decline to them, just stepping on them, you are essentially putting yourself in a dangerous situation. They're just so slippery, or as the guy in Colorado said, slippy, which I think is a better use of the word than slippery. Anyway, so you're climbing a lot of this stuff, and you're literally going right up and down a little face like the one I'm showing you right here, in a few spots when you first get into the state. So it's really fun. We waited for it to dry out a little bit one day, and it made the trail way more interesting and way more fun, and not as really it was slightly scary. So, New York has that too. But loving the state, and we've got 2 more days here. We're on a 23.5 mile mission right now, to get 8 miles outside of the town of Pauling. And then tomorrow morning, we're going to hike into Pauling, and we're going to Nero there. So it's an 8-mile hike tomorrow into the town of Pauling. And we're staying at a plush, I don't know what it is. It's called a B&B without the second B. There's no breakfast, but we're looking forward to it. We're going to eat some real food, shower, resupply. I think cousin Donnie from New York from New York City, he might take the train up. There's actually a train station across the street, so you can go straight into Manhattan if you want. And Central Station, I guess is what it is, or Union Station. But anyway, he may come to visit tomorrow evening and just say hello, which would be awesome if he can make it. But that's what we're doing. So yeah, I'm just hoping. I think our next state is Connecticut, so we'll see how that turns out. But you'll see a little bit more of this state between now and then. Calls down timber. It's interesting, we went through another place like this yesterday and the timber was all laying in the same direction then. I mean, it's just snapped. Big stuff is knocked over. Looks like a bulldozer came through here. I believe this, and I can look it up because you can look up past tornado events on the National Weather Service page. But all these trees have leaves on them. Well, some of them do. That one doesn't. But yesterday we were noticing that a lot of the, like this one over here, still have leaves growing on them. So they were down probably last year, possibly 2 years, like maybe a full year ago. And the weather was horrendous last year. Lots of heavy rain, which loosens up the soil. And then you combine that with some kind of significant weather event, whether it's like a tornado or just some kind of unseasonably high wind event. But look at that one. And it's funny because like the dead trees are like snapped in half, and then the trees that were alive, I mean, you can just see the path of destruction right here. Anyway, this is the second one of these we've come across in the last 2 days, and I've been through these before in the woods. Here's the root ball of a tree. Here's one that was snapped in half. Anyway, it'd be interesting to see what this is. Maybe I'll look it up like tonight, or we're going to be narrowing tomorrow. So if I have some time, I'll look it up and try to figure out what storm took all this down. And hopefully, look, you can see that big old white oak is just laid down up there. It's just amazing. Just a destruction. Anyway, I'll report back and see maybe what it was. Hey.